100% Hockey with Millard and Shannon. Trending. If we could get to the heights of Radco Gudas on social media, would that be a good thing or a bad thing?
Well, you know, I was, as a teenager, which was a long time ago, I read all of Howard Cosell's books. And Howard Cosell was a legendary broadcaster of Monday Night Football, ABC Boxing. And Cosell was, in many ways, ahead of his time. He was a polarizing announcer. And he would say it didn't matter as long as you could spell my name right. And so for years and years, Cosell was the standard why opinions were measured at in the world of sports. So I guess based on what Radco Gudas has become, it's Gudas. And if everybody can spell 100% hockey, then we're gonna be okay.
I am a big fan of Radco Gudas.
Me too. Me too.
He crossed the line for sure, but he intimidates you, and he plays hard, and he brings guys into the fight, and you have to be aware when he's on the ice. The Matthews hit was a penalty. It will receive supplemental discipline, but the Crosby play, like Sid himself said, that was just hard hockey.
And what's amazing to me is that Gudas has moved around as much as he has, because he's been an impactful player any place he plays, whether it's Tampa, whether it's Florida, obviously now in Anaheim, where they love him so much they made him the captain. So from that perspective, he's one of those guys, and I know Leaf fans aren't going to be happy today, but he's one of those guys you'd love to have on your team. You hate him on the other team. You love him on your team. He plays hard.
You need him on your team.
Well,
like that aspect.
Right. I mean, even at the Olympics, what he did and what Filip Hronek did. Filip Hronek is a similar style player in many ways, I think, maybe with a little more offensive talent. But you know that's a big part of what makes these guys tick. And man, he's, as much as was a tough play to watch, and he should get suspended. I suspect it'll be 4 or 5 games. Because we're taping this before the hearing takes place. You know, he's an impactful player, and he's in many ways he's fun to watch at times. That wasn't a fun play.
It was dirty.
Yeah, oh yeah, no question. You know, and there's going to be I think there's a lot of people expecting an in-person hearing, which would allow them to spend more than 5 games, but it is via the phone, so that means it can't be more than 5. So I suspect it's 4 or 5. When
you see a kneeing play, who's the first player that comes to mind?
In my lifetime?
Yeah,
Bobby Orr.
I was more thinking the guys throwing the knees.
Oh,
because we've had some pretty good guys out there, like being able to take you out.
Well, who do you think of?
Pittsburgh, New York Rangers.
Oh,
Kasparaitis.
Yeah. And there's no question. Guys that play, you know, that again, that's to the edge, over the edge. That's and I mean, he did seem to extend his knee. There's no doubt about it. There's no question about that. But does that happen consciously, or is that instinctive? Is that instinctive at the moment? And I'm not making excuses for him, but Gudas is doing everything to stop Auston Matthews from getting by him. That's what he's doing. Mm-hmm. He will do anything to do that. And so does the knee go out just naturally, or does he say, I'm going to knee him and I'm going to go knee on knee?
Do you think it matters?
Well,
it shouldn't matter.
No, it doesn't matter. It's always the question of, you know, we can never decide intent.
Mm-hmm. I know Joel Quenneville said there was no intent there. All due respect to Q, that doesn't matter. That doesn't matter to Auston Matthews. Doesn't matter to Maple Leaf fans.
Yeah, so we shall see, and you know, I suspect that Mr. Gudas will be sitting out, and you know, based on, you know, we saw Evgeny Malkin get 5 games for the stick swing,
which was nasty.
That was nasty too. There was intent there. I suspect we're going to see a 5-game. This is me before the hearing. I suspect we're going to see a 5-game suspension for Radco Gudas.
I'm going to go over that. The Price is Right rules. You say 5. I'm going to go. I'm going to go 6, and I'll be closer.
We can't get 6.
If they go in person, they can.
It's not in person. It's a phone hearing.
Well, maybe they'll adjust it. I'm going to stick to 6 because I've leaned into it. What's a bigger story, the hit on a star or the reaction by the Maple Leafs? Because the lack of reaction has got more attention in the short term.
Well, I think in so many ways, the lack of reaction has compounded the injury, right? It has compounded it. I think the Matthews injury is the bigger story, but because of where the Leafs are in the standings, how the Leafs are playing right now, the winds that are swirling in Ontario and in Toronto for what has to happen with the Maple Leafs. The story of no reaction at all has equaled now the injury that Matthews will have. And so that's an amazing, it makes no sense. It makes no sense. Somebody had to do something.
That's the biggest sign that everybody's checked out.
Yeah. And they have. I think it's pretty obvious they've checked out. They won the game, and by the way, they played more as a team in the third period after the Matthews event, perhaps because of the discussion they had in the dressing room between the second and third period, because it appears that there was a discussion of why didn't we do something.
I'm surprised Chief didn't go over the boards to do it himself.
Well, I don't. I just when you do, when there's going to be an autopsy on the Toronto Maple Leafs this year, I think the biggest autopsy will be is what is our culture, not who the players are, but what is our culture. And I think that the lack of response on Thursday night to Gudas on Matthews, I think reflects the culture in Toronto right now. And that's a scary thought. Because here's the thing. We've got Glen Gulutzan coming up soon. And at the same time as Anaheim was playing in Toronto, Edmonton was playing in Dallas. And the Dallas Stars have a gang mentality. They are in it as a group. Everybody's on the same page. And you could feel it, you could see it, whether it was a skirmish in the corner or something between the benches. If somebody on the Dallas Stars was anything near a collision with an Oiler, there were 3 stars there. All night long, Daren. All night long.
So is that the players, or is that a tactical approach by Glen Gulutzan?
Well, if you listen to Glen's comments after the game, it's culture. It's about the culture. The most impactful. We've had some really good shows this year. The best one I think we had, and the best conversation we had, was with George McPhee when he discussed the priorities of building a hockey team and where he put culture. He put culture ahead of everything. And it appears to me that, Dallas has a little bit of that quality culture going right now. Matt Duchene was viewed for the longest time as one of the most selfish players in the game. Let's be honest. He was one of the most selfish players in the game. That's not the case anymore. Jamie Benn, was sometimes not as team-oriented as one predicted. That has changed. There is a unity in Dallas right now. You don't see that unity in Toronto right now. You don't. Let's be honest. You don't.
You change coaches in Dallas, and you continue to run it out. Some of that's a lot of it's talent, but
Yes.
We'll find out about the culture and just the approach to physicality. I've got a question for you. Who's the most physical team in the National Hockey League? Most intimidating team? But don't answer yet because Glenn just joined the green room. This makes sure
I was going to answer.
I'll get to it at the end. You can't just say, no, we don't have time for that. Glen Gulutzan coming up from the Dallas Stars on 100% Hockey on YouTube and wherever you get your podcasts.
Give us a thumbs up.
NHL TV is now on DAZN. Hockey lives here.
Here we go.
Watch every game from every team. The best players in the world. And the coldest plays on ice. Watch up to 4 games at once for the ultimate NHL experience. Sign up now at DAZN.
Here's our buddy Gully joining us from Dallas as the Stars continue to roll. John Shannon hates it when I use any type of nickname, so I'm going to double down on it, Gully.
Okay. Yeah.
I
think John's called me that before.
No, I don't think so. I don't think so.
Let's start at the most recent, work our way back. What's this run been like, and anything that's fueled it?
If I go back to a game, we weren't playing the best hockey that we could play, and I go back to maybe our first game in Vegas, so about 13 or 14 games ago, we played Las Vegas. Maybe it was about 13 games ago, and we just had a heart-to-heart meeting about our compete level in all 3 zones, our physicality in all 3 zones, our compete level in all 3 zones, and it was a message that was well received. And then we went out and played that night, and we probably played one of our better hockey games of the year. And then the next 2 occasions, we upped our we're not just talking body checks. We just upped our aggression, our physicality, our how much we get into people. And the players could really notice a difference in the games, and we started to play better. And the beauty of the whole thing was after that they saw it, they felt it, they got to play it, and they haven't kind of turned back since.
It helps that you have bodies that can do that, though. Let's be honest.
Yes. Yes.
I mean,
yeah.
Watching last night's game against Edmonton, as much as you had some of your young guys participate, to have Jamie Benn on the ice or even on the bench as the Godfather doesn't hurt you. No. He's been so instrumental, not only for our team and all that he's done here for the years, John, but even for me, Jamie's the only guy that I had here 13 years ago. And I actually had Jamie for a while in Austin, Texas, in the minors, in the American League for a playoff run, and where we went to the finals. So he's been a great help for me to come back in here and try to get some of the things that we want to do implemented, because he's a great extension of the staff, basically, as your captain. You're in line with him, and he's full of character. So it's a great captain to have. Your quote after the game last night: you either take it forever or you respond. I liked our response. I mean, the irony of that quote, Glenn, is that you were on the other side last year.
Yeah. But when I came here, John, I guess everyone in Edmonton and even myself, in the 2 years we went to the Cup final, Florida became your team that you kind of hated, right? So I get to Dallas, and Edmonton is the team that they kind of hate, and so. Just looking back at the last few years, the one thing when I was on the Edmonton side is we wanted to make sure that when I got here that, we upped our physicality a little bit. And we have, like you said, we've got the people that can do it, Bishel and we got Tyler Myers but what the more important Jamie Benn, but more importantly is everyone's kind of bought in to amp up their game a little bit here, and it's helped us.
What does upping physicality mean in today's game?
Yeah, you know what? Basically, for me, you know how you get to the playoffs and everyone starts to hit and track back harder and everything. But what happens is for me, and this is my thought process, is teams that haven't played like that during the year, now you just start to run around. So you're really just not playing the way you need to play. And, you run around, chase the puck, you're getting hits, but, the score is 5-0 because you've never got anything stopped or, you're not playing your game. And so I think that physicality starts in all three zones, and it has to be part of your game through the 82 so that when you do get to the playoffs, you're not chasing it or you're not playing any different than you were. And, I've said this 4 or 5 times now, with Florida, success leaves clues. They play this hard combative style of game all year, and then come playoff time, it's not foreign to them. They just keep playing it. And for us, what that physicality means is we're not going to be a team that's going to run you out of the building. But at the end of the day, on the forecheck, if you've covered the distance and a defenseman moves the puck, you do finish them. If you're side by side with them, you get the puck and you get it stopped and you play in their zone. So you got to run a balance. Neutral zone, you got to get in front of people. You got to track back harder. You got to, hit through the hands and get people on your backs. And in a D zone, you're physical along the walls, especially around the yellow, and getting things stopped and bringing in numbers. So we kind of got a 3-zone physicality here. And it's not just running around body checking, because most teams that do that are just chasing, and it turns out not good.
So what have you, and what elixir is Matt Duchene taking? He's playing like a 25-year-old, not a guy closer to 40.
Yeah. It took Dutchie a while just to get going. He had an injury in the start of the year. He was out for a long time, and then he came back, and it wasn't easy for him. I had him on wing for a while just to get him, and then I had his minutes lower for a while, and then it was right before the Olympic break, you could see him his game start to round out. You could see it, he was skating better, handling the puck better. But then when the break happened, he got to join the league at the same spot that everybody else was in. So we had 9 days of practice here. We had some really good practice. We only had 10 forwards and 5D. So we got a lot of practice time in, and when the league started up again, Dutchie was caught up, and now you're getting to see, the full extent of his talent. He led the team in points last year at 82 points, and that's what I would attribute it to. It was a long injury, a lot longer than we thought, and now he didn't have to get on a moving train.
You know firsthand how deep the Dallas Stars have gone the last number of years. With this compacted schedule, how have you managed to stay so elite through the fatigue and the grind of a compacted schedule?
Well, the one thing I noticed when I first got here is just how much depth the Jim Nill had acquired with this team. We ended up signing Adam Ernie out of camp, but and we had Nate Bastian, but the Ritzkovian and Steels and the growth of Bork, and even the young kid we got Artie Huru up here. Just how much depth was here. Petrovic, Capibianca, all these guys have contributed to where we are. We couldn't have been in this spot without all that depth. And that's the first thing I noticed, is just how many good players were collected here, and that's what's kept us going through these injuries, and even injuries in the start of the season with Bischel out, Harley out, Nils out, Lundqvist. We had guys step in and contribute, and that's the only reason we're afloat.
So, speaking of injuries, is there Rantanen and Hintz will be back before the end of the regular season?
We're really hopeful. Rantanen, we think for sure. John, Rupe, we think very, very possibly. And we also have Radek Faksa, who's been a major part of our penalty kill here. And we're hoping they're all back before the playoffs start. But I think we'll see Rantanen back first, and then the other two will follow shortly.
So, and please take this next question as a compliment. But are you peaking too soon? And does that become a concern?
No. I'm just the only thing I'm worried about is running the wagon wheels too hot. So I want to make sure we're going to use our depth here as we go forward, just because, we are pushing, we have injuries. But I also look at it in a positive way, John, is that, we're going to add players and hopefully we have our own little trade deadline bump by adding Rance back in pieces and then Rupe back and then Fax back. And so hopefully that can give us a jolt. But right now we've spread it out pretty good. Mm-hmm. So I don't think we're quite there yet. I only look at it as managing our games day to day, or managing, the way we're playing. And right now we're playing the right way. And as longer we play that, I think there's only growth in that.
Do you do 5-game segments or 10?
I don't do any now. I used to do playoff series, so 7 games for kind of resets. So if you're not going well and you pick a spot in your schedule, there's a good 7 games that mocks a playoff series, if you're playing against top teams, and see if you can win that series. And it's kind of like a rezoning, refocusing. That's really the only thing I do. I don't divide into segments. But I do this playoff segments. I've done as many as 4 during a calendar year, a season. This year we've done 1 and we lost it. So we had to make a little reset, and we did a lot better in our next run.
When you've done those playoff series during the regular season, what if you win the series in 5? Do you start over from there, or do you play it out?
Yeah, you move on, and then you see. If you can win it, you can win a second round. And if you lose it, and which we have lost, and over my coaching career we've lost, is then you figure out what went wrong and try to reset. So it's almost like, it's just some way to break up the monotony of the 82 games. And hey, each game we got to play hard. It's kind of like just refocus on something. But yeah, if you win a series in 4, you move on, you go to round 2, and then you keep playing.
And the players are all involved in that too, or is that just the coaching staff?
Yeah. No, they know.
Too bad. In the old days, you could have given them bonuses.
Oh, you did give the bonuses.
Yeah. I don't even want to say anything about that. If I say then everybody be on me. But no, their bonus is a day off, maybe.
Yeah. Glen Gulutzan with us on 100% Hockey. We'll be back with more with Millard and Shannon right after this.
Car shopping should be exciting, not exhausting. That's where Car Gurus comes in. They have advanced search tools, unbiased deal ratings, and price history, so you know a great deal when you see one. It's no wonder that Car Gurus is the #1 rated car shopping app in Canada. When you're car shopping on your phone, it shouldn't be a maze. You need to see all the information. With the Car Gurus app, you can. Powerful search tools that you see deal ratings, price history, and dealer reviews on listings all in one place. And you can turn on real-time price drop alerts so you never miss a great deal. Car Gurus connects you with trusted dealerships when you're ready, ensuring a transparent, hassle-free buying process. Buy your next car today at cargurus.ca. Make sure your deal is the best deal. That's cargurus.ca. cargurus.ca.
There's been a lot already unearthed in this conversation. My favorite part was Gully's look when John Shannon said his question about, I don't want you to take this the wrong way.
Yeah, well, People, but I worry about teams really being good in March.
But we all never really know what you're coming with in that. Like that could be anything.
I didn't know if it's our days in Edmonton, John. Or
hey, yeah. What happens in Edmonton stays in Edmonton. You mentioned 9 days of practice. 9 days of practice. What was that like?
Well, it was good. I came through the East Coast League because I was used to these 10-and-5 practices, 10-and-5. So had to kind of dig into the archives there with, 9 practices with, 5D and 10 forwards. But they were good. I honestly, I said this a couple times. I give our players a ton of credit. They were dialed in. They worked. And we talked about this guy early. It was Ben. He was dialed in. He was dialed in. He wanted to skate, and the rest just trickled down. And that's what happens when you've got a lot of players, and we do. Dutchy, Benny, our older players, all they want to do is win, and they'll do anything to win. And when they came in and thought we got to practice hard so we come out of the gates good after the Olympic break, everybody just followed our veteran guys.
There used to be a thing before kids got on the phones, a staring contest. Remember that? Don't blink first. Jamie Benn would win that every time. Like, he's just got that stone face, right?
He can stare bullets through you for sure. Yeah.
Does he smile?
Oh yeah. Oh, Benny smiles. Yeah. Yeah. Usually when the game's over, though.
I saw him and Jeremy Lauzon the other day, just staring at each other, almost like without saying a word, like challenging. You want to go? Let's go. But there wasn't an expression or a word exchange between them. It was pretty good. Yeah.
No, he's got the stare down for sure, and I've seen those eyes roll back a few times when I've coached them, and it's never pretty.
You talked about being there 13 years ago. You were a head coach in Calgary too. How much different are you today than you were behind the Dallas bench and the Flames bench?
Yeah, just all these years, and probably when I look back, I'm much different. And I'm much different because of experience. And I know I've talked about that, but when you do get to work with Dave Tippett, Todd McClelland, Ken Hitchcock, Jay Woodcroft, and then Chris Knoblaw, and go to the Stanley Cup final 2 years in a row, coach great players, right from the Sedins to, Mark Giordano to the Sedins to, obviously Connor and Leon. You change. You just, I said in my press conference, you get scarred up along the way, but you learn a lot along the way, and you soak in a lot from a lot of good people. And, that's what's changed. I guess when you sit in this chair now, the biggest thing I have is, and you never know in our business, but you've got comfort in the fact that you've got knowledge. So you can walk into a room and you're not intimidated by the room or what's happening on the other side or what system the team's playing. You've pretty much seen most of it.
So tactically or your personal approach, where have you changed?
Yeah. Tactically, I've grown just from being around other coaches. And it's allowed me to kind of put together a thought process in my mind of, I used to only know how to play one way, kind of just the way I wanted to play. Now I really look at the team we have and see, what system might fit this group the best. Because I played a lot of systems now, over the last 15 years with, 6-7 different coaches. So, a lot better at making tweaks, on things, because you've seen patterns before, what teams are trying to do. Even last night we made a couple little tweaks with the penalty kill. Just things like that you're a lot more comfortable with because you've seen a lot more. On a personal note, I've dealt with these players as a head coach and assistant coach at the highest level and superstars at the highest level, on both sides of it. And it just, the more you do it, the more you understand how these elite guys tick, and you can think with them rather than for them. And that helps.
Game management. how has your game management changed? I mean, your practice days are one thing, your planning is another thing, but it's that 2.5 hours behind the bench. How has that changed?
Yeah, I used to never shuffle pieces around, John. I used to be a little stubborn in just rolling out lines and what I knew coming even out of Calgary that I needed to get better at quickly recognizing who's playing and who's not, and when something's working and something's not, and being able to shuffle the deck chair, so to speak, so that I could maximize the game within the game and not just sticking to, say, certain matchups that I was married to that I probably shouldn't have been. So learning from a lot of guys, the way they ran the bench, certainly I wasn't completely wrong back in the day, but I needed to up my repertoire, so to speak. So I'm a little more watching the entirety of the game and then seeing which of my players are going and what pieces I might have to move around to maximize the group.
How much have you used Colorado as a carrot?
None. None. That's the truth. None. I've never mentioned them. I don't care to mention them. I know we've got great teams, and if you want to win it all, you're going to have to go through 4 great teams. And for me, it doesn't really matter where we finish. It's really about where our game is, and if we're playing the right way, and if we have a game that can beat anybody, and that's where I focus. I haven't mentioned Colorado at all. I haven't mentioned Minnesota at all. I think there's 8 or 9 great teams that could win the cup, and I think we're one of them.
How do you manage your goaltenders the rest of the regular season?
Yeah, I think with early on right now, kind of 2 things, John, is Otter hasn't played a ton and coming off the Olympics, so we'll probably try to get him in a little bit of a rhythm here, and then try to space them out where both guys are going, so that we've got fresh goalies to go to the end.
We had Steve Valiquette on the show a couple of days back, and he's, whether he's changed his tune, but he's quite adamant you need 2 goaltenders for playoffs now, which is really contradictory to the old school of, you take one guy and you ride him. Yeah. Where do you sit?
Yeah, I think at all times you're going to need 2. My history is, the intensity of the playoffs, the stacking of the games of the playoffs. I would agree with them. You do need 2. And where I came from, we had to use 2 to get to the Stanley Cup final last 2 years. And so I'm not opposed to it, but I also will make sure I live day by day. I want to see how a guy's going, and it's almost like the ride him till he bucks you. And then maybe make your decision after that. So I don't want to get married to anything, but I'm not opposed to anything.
How's traffic changed since the last time you coached Dallas?
Traffic?
Yeah.
Well, I live downtown now, which
you
took
do?
a lot of the traffic out of it for me. Yeah,
but you got to get out to the facility though.
I do, but I'm going kind of with the traffic in the morning, or against the traffic, so it's good. So I used to live in Frisco. Now I moved downtown. I will work out of the American Airlines a little bit more, so I've enjoyed that. I've enjoyed it. Walk Katy Trail to the rink, not too bad.
13 years. This team, that town's changed a lot in 13 years, though.
It's amazing how much growth is up here. I used to live in Frisco. Now they're building a Universal Studios up there. The Cowboys moved up there, their practice facility. The PGA headquarters is up there. It's just grown massively in Frisco. And then the team itself has just been it's changed a lot. We were in bankruptcy when I was here, so we're kind of the 4th team for sure. I'm not sure we're the 4th team here anymore. There's a lot of Dallas Star fans. There's a lot of buzz in the city. I give Jim and Tom a lot of credit, because there is a buzz in the city that I didn't think. When I got here, 118, I think, straight sellouts. I didn't know that.
Mm-hmm. That's a big building too.
Big building.
Yeah.
One off the board question. I'm a hair guy. I take great pride in my salad. You are a carrot for me watching. How do you get it so good?
Well, if I took off my hat now, it's not so good. But
well, me too.
Yeah.
By the way, last night, Gullison won the hair battle between the two of you badly. Okay, I'm sitting at home saying, "God, Glen's hair looks great. What is with Millard's hair?"
I'm growing it out. I'm trying something different.
Oh. Yeah. So you got to mix it up.
Yeah.
Yeah, you do have to mix it up. You know what? I get a lot of questions about my hair and how long it takes, but honestly, it doesn't take very long. It's really short, actually. Just some gel.
I'm impressed. Every night, it's like perfect.
Yeah. Well, when you do it the same way for your whole life, it pretty much just goes where it's supposed to.
You get that picture of Glen Gulutzan in grade 5. It's the same haircut.
It's almost the same. Yeah, almost the same.
There's a little bit more of a mullet out the back.
Yeah, I had a mullet. Yeah, you can see a few mullet pictures.
Thanks, buddy. Appreciate this. Keep her going in the right direction. It's been so much fun to watch, especially being as deep as you guys have gone. That organization's gone the last couple of years. You were worried about fatigue, and you guys have kept it on the floor. So looking forward to seeing you guys in the Stanley Cup playoffs.
Yeah, me too. Thanks for having me.
With the NHL app, you can listen to every NHL game right from your phone. And with home and away broadcast feeds, you choose your way to listen.
And he scores!
Whether you're at work, at the gym, or stuck in traffic, the NHL app puts you right in the action all season long. Every team, every game, everywhere you go. Download the NHL app and never miss a moment.
I tell you what, between the two of you and the damn nicknames just driving me crazy. Between the two of you, it was driving me crazy. You know, I think I think nicknames are worse than analytics.
What? But in hockey, by and large, you know who we're talking about. There's a couple of players like Worm, Corey Perry. If you don't know the game and you're a casual fan, you wouldn't know who that would be, or maybe you would. But we do know the nicknames, who they belong to.
I know, but
they're not left field.
Yeah,
you know my favorite nickname that I had? Well, I had two. Millard. That was from when I played in Dauphin. Jim Cook gave me that one. And
Cookie gave it to you? Was that
Jim Cook? Cookie was a good player. Man, he was a good player. Raises heavy horses. Clydesdales now. The other one was Party Hard Marmalade. Party was my nickname. That's a pretty good one. It was anti-party because I'm not a big...
I'm not telling you my nickname.
What is it?
I'm not telling you. No, that's different. That's different.
Okay, what was your nickname?
I wouldn't mind Owl. But
we should call you that, Owl. What was the nickname that you had?
So our old pal Jim Poplinski in Calgary,
Pepper,
or his close friends call him Pep, just Pep. So Jim, and it didn't bother me. Just so for the record for everybody, I was born with club feet. I walk funny. I've always walked funny, and so when you play golf, you're walking down the fairway. I look like I look like an army. I'm going left, right, and my feet are flapping. So one day we're playing golf, and he says, "You walk like Thumper." And so for even to this day, if he calls, he says, "Hey Thumper, how you doing?" So that was as close as I got.
I like that one.
Yeah, it
comes from a place of love.
I'm not so sure,
but it's not going to call it to you to be mean. Like
no. There wasn't. There's not a mean bone in his body, but that was his. He called me Thumper. So
all right, Thumper. Who's the most physical, intimidating team in the National Hockey League today?
Wow.
I'll give you a little bit of
for the last 3 years, for the last 2.5 years, it was the Florida Panthers.
Yeah, and before that it was Vegas because Florida tried to pushed Vegas around in that Stanley Cup final and got shoved back.
Yeah.
And then Florida learned from that and really engaged. And now Tampa Bay's involved. Like Tampa Bay's flexed its muscle.
Well, I actually think that John Cooper's trying to get his team going. And they have not played.
But the Florida rivalry with the Panthers and Lightning over the last couple of years has been extraordinary.
Yeah. And quite frankly, I mean, it might be the Dallas Stars right now. They might be the toughest team.
Like the intimidating.
Sure. Because it's not about it's not about fighting.
No, not at all.
It's about how you can manage the game and how you can create an opportunity through intimidation for your team. You know, Florida was an intimidating team for a long time. And by the way, next year they will be intimidating again. But right now, when you look at the 32 teams, I'm going, maybe it is Dallas right now.
And I'm not talking just going out and throwing the most hits.
No. Well, I mean, listen, the Boston Bruins are the most penalized team in the game. That doesn't mean they're the most intimidating. Mm-hmm. You know, so from that, I just think the way Dallas plays, the depth that they have, the size of their players. I mean, they're huge. Huge.
Dallas played Chicago last weekend, and the starting four defensemen off the opening faceoff were all 6'8" or higher.
Right. So, well, that
between the two teams.
Yeah, no, they're massive. And then Dallas goes and gets Tyler Myers. Yeah. I mean, so
is there room for added intimidation in our game in today's product? I think there is.
As long as you win, yeah. It's all about winning. And it's all about, can you buy yourself another half a second? You know, when Steve Valiquette talked so much, it was a great conversation about flinching, goaltenders flinching.
Yeah.
Well, skaters flinch too. And so can you create with your team that extra half second of flinching, or that, I'm going in the corner, who's coming after me? And by the time I realize that, I've lost that puck battle. You know, that's what it's all about.
I think Edmonton checks on Jari's alignment.
I do.
That's a serious question because coming up the Valiquette observation.
Steve may not want me saying this. I'm going to say it anyway. They are a client of his. So the Oilers, I think, are fully aware of what's going on with Tristan Jarry.
So maybe it's already been passed along.
Maybe it's been passed along. So,
and a lot of what Steve does is the data, the analytics side as well. That was a fun conversation. So was today. Glen Gulutzan talking to a coach and being able to pardon the pun, let your hair down a little bit and get into it was fantastic.
I'm a little concerned about. I watched your show last night. I'm a little concerned about your hair. I really am.
I'm growing it out, and I'm trying to give myself. This is my plan.
Why?
Well, one, my wife she likes the Kevin Bacon look, so I'm trying to go a little bit abstract, which is going to grab a reaction. It's going to bring a reaction in. I understand that. I'm aware of that not everybody's going. I look at Kevin Bacon and go, oh, some days it's not working, but I like the option there. But giving myself different lanes with the hair, whether I do the flip, whether I do it straight back, whether I do it loose. I feel like I need that in my life right now.
Yeah.
I don't want to be buttoned up anymore.
Yeah. By the way, my wife likes the Wilfred Brimley look.
Yeah. Sticking to Wilford, right? We're not moving off Brimley. Brims, as his buddies call him.
Did you know that Wilfred Brimley and Robert Redford were the same age?
What?
Yeah, I know. And how many movies they did together? Brimley was his father.
No way.
Yep. Yeah, apparently. So anyway, I thought that was hilarious.
Wow. Hey, do you have time to tell the Red Fisher story that you passed on to me? yesterday?
Sure. So, we were, yeah. So what happened?
Well, there's an article in Edmonton that said Bob Stauffer could be the general manager of the Edmonton Oilers.
And by the way, Bob Stauffer did not promote it. And in fact, Dave Staples wrote the article, and he said, I don't think Bob should be the general manager. And Dave's right. Bob shouldn't be the general manager. But it tweaked me to years gone by when Ron Caron was an assistant general manager in Montreal, working for Sam Pollock and then Irving Grundman. And and he got hired as the general manager in St. Louis, because the Blues were in tough straits in the early 80s, and Caron did a magnificent job turning the franchise around with Harry Ornest as the owner. And so the dean of hockey writers in the world at that point was, he might even still be the dean, even though he's passed, was Red Fisher, the great Red Fisher, Montreal newspaper lore. He worked on Hockey Night in Canada with us as well. And Red was ticked off that Ron Caron got the manager's job in St. Louis because he figured he deserved it first, that he wanted the job first, because he thought after all the years he had been around the game, how much he understood the game, how he talked to players, Red Fisher could open any door in the league at any point, whether it be the president of the league or the commissioner or any owner. Red figured that he should be the general manager of the St. Louis Blues, and he was angry. He was angry at everybody.
Do we know if he applied?
No, he didn't apply.
He just thought he should be there.
I don't think Ron Caron applied. I think what you do is you do your due diligence, says who's the best non-general manager out there, and they said, well, Ron Caron's really good, player personnel guy, and but Red was ticked. So, but Red always used to get angry at things, so that's okay. Red didn't talk to rookies. He had a rule. He would not talk to rookies for the Montreal Canadiens. If you were a rookie on Canadiens roster, he wouldn't talk to you for a year.
Like, interview you.
Yeah. Like, he'd go into the room, but he wouldn't say hello. He
nothing.
He wouldn't
total
acknowledge you.
Freeze you out.
Yeah, because you're a rookie.
Oh.
But he was Red Fisher. He's Red Fisher. He's a legend.
Hardcore.
Yeah.
Ron Caron, my lasting memory of Ron Caron is in the press box, waving his arms around like he was bringing a plane in.
Well, the next time we have Doug McLean on, we'll get a couple of good Ron Caron stories.
Those two in a room together would have been fun.
Well, there was no doubt who the alpha dog was in those days in St. Louis. It was Mr. Caron.
Thanks to Glen Gulutzan for joining us today in a pretty wide-ranging conversation. Covered a lot of ground in that one. Have a good weekend. Enjoy the hockey. We'll be back with you on Monday on 100% Hockey with Millard and Shannon. Remember, check out our podcast on YouTube. Full episodes available there. Give us a thumbs up. Interaction. Let us know what you like about it.
Managers meetings next week. Managers meetings next week. So we're going to talk about the managers meetings.
Is there anything in manager meetings anymore?
Well, we'll tell people about it.
Okay. And we'll know what Gudas got suspended, whether it was 19 games or 5 games.
It can't be 19.
Suspended for the rest of the season.
Oh, my God.
Have a good weekend, everybody. Bye, Thumper.